folks, hope you're all doing well today. I want to do a video on some basics on how to grow muscle as efficiently as possible, in my opinion, from my experience. I've written some books on this. Principles of my coaching are based on this, so if you already a client of mine or whatever of my books, no surprises here, but I just wanted to kind of lay it out in a very accessible format so you could understand where I'm coming from when I talk about growing muscle. I've been doing this for 40 years, 41 years now almost, consistently. Never took time off from training over all these years. I will admit my genetics are probably a little bit better than average. Not great, but a little better than average. So that helps with everything, including my general health has been pretty good overall, as well as my ability to put on muscle. My challenges actually when I was younger was in losing body fat. Getting ready for shows was my bigger challenge. But I think everybody has, the positives and negatives to their particular genetic attributes. But true for everybody, though. I think these general principles apply. So just go over some sections bit by bit, and how I think it's important, or what I think is really important for building muscle realistically, and this, should apply to everybody with different variances of degree. First of all, training, most important, right? You get to train with a progressive kind of resistance. So you have to basically make your body, you have to make it so your body needs to accumulate muscle. There's no way around that. Okay, that can be done by increasing load, be that increasing weight on the bar, reps you complete, the form in which you complete your reps. Clean, very strict reps is more difficult than loose ones. And also rest periods. Reduction of rest periods can also increase the load on your body, making it work harder and making it adapt to stimulus and potentially grow muscle. I think adding weight to the bar with perfect form is the most accessible way, most reliable way to increase muscle hypertrophy. So I believe in going to the gym with a logbook. I think it's very difficult to know exactly if you're progressing without creating a log. Bring that log book with you and make sure the best of your ability that you're progressing somehow. Each work session or every other work session thereabouts when you get into the gym. And that can be one extra rep in your core movements, or it could be, one of the smallest plates available in the gym on that bar in addition to the last session. In either way, you are creating progressive need for growth, for improvement, adaptation for your body, and that will result in more muscle tissue. Now, of course, nobody lives their life in a vacuum, so there's variances. Every day is different than the next day. We do our best to be consistent, but that will, of course, have impact on your training sessions and ability to beat the logbook. So keep that in mind, that you're not going to beat the logbook every time, and that's not your fault. If you're training to the best of your abilities, there will be things that happen. You could have a cold, you have some stress in your daily life, you could miss some sleep, without your ability to prevent that. That'll impact your training. You will not beat your logbook. Don't get down on that. Okay? Keep pushing, keep trying. So go in there, beat the logbook, more weight, more reps, whichever you can do to the best of your ability, understanding you live in an imperfect world and there will be mitigating factors to your progress, but just keep progressing overall over time. Most important thing. I also believe in relatively reliable rep ranges. I don't believe in going lower than, say, 6 to 8 reps. That is because I think when you get below that, the weight gets heavy enough to cause injury. That's the main reason I don't like to. So I like to keep my reps, between 6 to 12 to 15, thereabouts. I do believe in rest pause training. So I like to, for me personally, safe-wise, I will go, say, 10 reps on a heavy compound exercise, like a hammer strength incline bench press. I'll go to 10 reps, fail at that 10 reps, failure meaning at that 10th rep, I can no longer perform a clean, perfect rep. take my 30-second, 20-second break, deep breaths, make sure I'm fully oxygenated, and then get another 2 to 3 reps in failure. Take another mini break, another 2 to 3 reps to failure. And that's how I basically train my actual sets. I think that's the most efficient way to add muscle, progressively getting stronger that way. And it's also very, very time efficient too, because most of us have lives. To be frank, we're not professional bodybuilders, all of us. We don't get paid to do this, so time matters. Along with that, I also believe in relatively high training frequency. I think it's very important to hit the same muscle twice every 7 to 8 days. I do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday split with my body cut in half. So I have, an A day, a B day, then a B day, rotating throughout the 8 days for me, from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to the following Monday, Wednesday, Friday, etc. Training frequency is important because each time you go into the gym and you train hard and then get out and recover, you've created an opportunity for growth. More opportunities for growth over a set period of time equals more ability to accumulate mass. Simple as that, right? Assuming training, nutrition, sleep, recovery, everything is equal, more opportunities in the gym, creating stimulus, giving opportunity to recover, creates more potential for growth. Simple as that. A lot of people like the bro split type thing of like one body part a day for like every day and take a day off or something. That was really popular, I think, in the 90s and whatnot, if I remember. Jay Cutler, of course, made that really popular. In my experience, that's not really how the biggest people get big. That's how they tend to train when they are big, because they're mostly refining for the most part, but that doesn't really allow opportunity, especially for younger or unenhanced athletes, to grow optimally. Especially if you're not enhanced, you need to create as much stimulus opportunities as possible and as much recovery opportunities as possible to be able to create muscle, okay? That's your main and only stimulus to cause hypertrophy. So keep that in mind. You want to get in the gym as much as you can, recover, get back in, do it again as frequently as possible. If you're only hitting the muscle, once per week, that's 52 opportunities a year to grow. Twice per week, you've doubled that to over 100, and so on and so forth. So think about that way. How many chances are you giving to grow and improve throughout a calendar year? Super important, okay? Besides training, obviously, food, super important. Protein, everybody should know this. Just aim for about 2 grams plus to start. 2.5 grams of protein per kilo to start is a good place. 1 gram per pound of body weight to start, and work your way up. Okay, and try to understand. If you've got carrying a lot of body fat, keep that in mind when you're talking about how much protein per gram or per pound of body weight. Okay, you need to eat in surplus to grow, no question about that. But don't go nuts with the surplus. I think research shows between 250 to 500 calories a day should be more than enough for most people to grow. I think dirty bulks are a mistake. You get too fat, it takes too much to get the fat off, you lose too much muscle when you get that fat off, and often people find out that they've lost most of their gains and haven't really progressed above and beyond what they would have done through a more lean bulk. So keep it conservative, but do make sure you eat more than you need, okay? Because the body simply will not add tissue if it doesn't have enough nutrition to support that tissue. You have to tell it, hey, I'm giving you the resources to support your tissue, so it's okay to create tissue from those training sessions. Okay. Also be noteful of the fact that just eating more protein causes MPS, or muscle protein synthesis, meaning that just the fact of eating high protein meals can trigger the accumulation of muscle mass. Not something to be relied on too heavily, but it is, a fact that eating more protein will create more accumulation of muscle mass. We see this a lot in research with elderly people. They don't eat enough protein. They get sarcopenia. If we give them more protein to eat, actually their body accumulates muscle tissue just from eating more protein. So super important. And carbohydrates are your main fuel. So, get your protein set, adjust your carbohydrates to how much you need for what your workloads are like and recovery loads are like. You can start off with, a little bit more than protein, say like 2.5 to 3 grams per per kilogram, for example, to start. And again, adjust that and tweak it to suit your needs. I'm not going to get too deep into it right now. But it's your fuel. Without good carbohydrates, you can't fuel your workouts. You won't have good workouts. You won't recover quickly. You can't get back in the gym and train again properly. And you won't feel well, frankly speaking. I don't believe you can reach optimal efficiency and optimal hypertrophy by following ketogenic or low carbohydrate diets. You can try it, but I just don't think it's optimal. It's not the best way to do it. Fat's, of course, important too, but people are going to get enough fat without even trying, so don't worry about that too much. When you are eating fat, try to make sure your fat is as healthy and as nutritious as possible. Get it from good sources. Things like avocados, olive oil, even good omega-3 eggs can help. Of course, omega-3s, and those are healthy fats themselves. Use common sense in that, but try to avoid eating too much saturated fat or just too much fat in general. It's really not necessary, and it's just extra calories that will add to body fat. Another thing, of course, recovery, sleep. You need to sleep. Without proper sleep, you will not be recovered. I mean, from normal life, we don't recover without good sleep. If you're training really, really hard, it's going to be that much worse if you miss your sleep. So make sure that you get your optimal rest per night. I think 7 to 9 hours is optimal. It'll be hard for some people, but it will make a difference. If you can get that quality sleep per day, you will repair better, you will restore better, you will recover better, you'll get back in the gym again, you'll be strong again, you'll make better progress. It's something that you should really hold as a non-negotiable. Okay, you cannot abandon sleep, especially if you're unenhanced, because your recovery abilities are always going to be strained. Without sleep, you will not recover. Okay, so you need to get those days of sleep, or your number of sleeps in between your workouts, and getting back in the gym and hitting it hard again. All right, super, super important. Basic, but super important. I think bringing this together, get some productive habits going. You've got to systemize this and make this part of your life. A lot of people have a really hard time making these kind of things automatic and making them absent of too much stressful thinking. Prep your meals, track your workouts in log software. I personally use Kahuna's software for my clients. It works really well. I can push all the meals to my clients and their workout routines, and they can track their eating and their training, and I can see that too and help them make adjustments. So tracking stuff is really important, and having it tracked is a good way to help create consistent long-term habits. So please try your best to create those kind of habits that lead towards goals. Have short-term and long-term goals, whether it's just looking good for the summer or a contest or whatever it is. It'll make it a lot easier for you to keep that consistency up day after day if you have something in mind ahead of you that you want to focus on and achieve. And last but not least, again, really kind of putting the bow on this, consistency. I can't explain enough how important consistency is to growing muscle. It takes a really long time. Okay, you can only accrue so many grams of lean muscle tissue in a certain amount of time, enhanced, natural, whatever. There's only so much you can do. Your genetics will dictate how much you can accumulate in a certain time and how much overall you can accumulate. All other things equal, training, nutrition, recovery, everything else equal, genetics are going to say how much muscle you can grow. Okay, so don't get down on yourself. You don't blow up like your best friend who looks at weights and gets huge. Those things happen, just like pro basketball players. Not everybody's going to be one. Not everybody's going to be a huge bodybuilder overnight either. But that doesn't mean you can't be better. By being consistent, everybody can improve. You can get bigger, stronger, leaner, be better you than you were previously. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Be as consistent as possible over as long a time as possible. Make it habitual. Make it part of your life. And do the best you can every day. Don't let perfection be the enemy of the good. Give it. If you can't get 100% today, give 80%. Don't not show up. Get in there. Make this habitual. Make this just happen. like breathing. For me, obviously, after decades of doing this, it's very hard for me not to do this stuff. All right? Not everybody will get to that point, but it does take quite a bit of work to get to the point where it becomes habitual, automatic, where it becomes more comfortable for you to do this than not do this. Okay? Give it 30, 60, 90 days of consistency before you make changes. All right? If you keep changing things, if you keep pulling the different levers and altering stuff in your training, nutrition, sleep, whatever, it's going to be very, very hard to tell what's working and what isn't. So take your time and just adjust things. And again, tracking, logging, use your apps like my app, whatever you can to put your notes in, what happens when, and track those changes over time. That's where the magic happens, where you get everything lined up and you keep hitting it again and again and again. That's where progress comes from, okay? And too many people, unfortunately, fail because they don't have the patience, or they don't hit that point of where things start clicking, for them. It does take a while. Whether you want to be a champion bodybuilder or just want to get in better shape, takes time. It will click. And if it's not, talk to your coach. If I'm your coach, I will be following you all the time and checking in with you to make sure you're feeling good and what's going right and what isn't. If you have a hard time doing things on your own, a coach really can help you, at least in the very beginning, to kind of find your way. Or if you're at a very high level, to push beyond that level, coaching can be super helpful. But just to recap, I just wanted to share this kind of basic stuff and get it out there in a video format. Train hard, eat enough, sleep like it's your job. Don't give up on sleep. Get your daily habits developed and nailed, and be consistent over time. All right, let it grow into becoming part of you. All right, give yourself the chance, the opportunity to improve too. Don't judge yourself against other people. Look at yourself and how much better you're getting. And like I say, if you find that too difficult, reach out to a coach or somebody who can actually give you a guiding hand, and maybe help you stay the course when you're feeling shaky. But most of all, hit those basics: training, nutrition, sleep, recovery, habitual consistency over time, and you will get better. Everybody can get better. Everybody can improve. All right? That's me. That's you. It's everybody watching this video. All right? I hope this helped you out. If it did, drop a like, a comment below. I'd like to hear your feelings on these kind of basics, and what part maybe is most difficult for you and what you could use the most help on. Let me know, what you think about this kind of stuff and what kind of topics you want to see next. All right? And as always, do your best. Keep growing out there, everybody. Okay? Peace.